You know what? Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening to wherever you at. I started to do this and try to do it perfectly. And one thing I'm just noticing about blogging or getting in front of a camera, you just have to just let the camera just catch you doing what you do. Be who you are. So that being said, I this morning I woke up, I felt different. I got up and you know, my dreams be about, I guess, how I'm gonna handle my situations or what have you. So I got up, made my few phone calls that I usually make the phone calls in the morning, say good morning, I love you, have a good day to family members, friends, tell everybody have a good day. And sometimes I read too much into that grand rising. You know, I get it, but the way I say good morning is similar to the way, I mean, I'm saying grand rising and the way I say good morning. So I be judging myself based off of, you ever do that? But I'm gonna stick back to the topic. You ever do that real quick? You ever judge yourself based on how everybody else do things? I'm guilty of it myself. So anyway, I got up this morning, made my phone calls, and I thought about my son, but so I knew I was gonna call him, but I just didn't know when. Went, jumped in the shower, and I got up and I was like, you know what? Whatever it is, I'm gonna be ready for the day. I didn't know. I don't know what to expect. Didn't know what to expect. I made plans, but plans to be prepared for whatever the task for the day was. So I got out of the shower, got myself together, got dressed, and then I called a few people that I had to contact or whatever, and we just, not we, I just was saying to myself, I looked out the window, and it's the craziest thing because it's this squirrel that sits right outside my window, and it's not like he sits there in particular. I just noticed this squirrel was looking right at me, and so I looked at him and I'm like, yo, is he got his back to me? Because he was on a tree, but the tree branch is right across from my window. It's like maybe 6 or 7 feet from my window. And so it's just looking. So I'm like, is that the back of his tail? So I go to the window and I look in. So I slide the top of the window down. And I look and I'm like, yo, this joker looking right at me. So I says, good morning, bro. I just wanted to check to see if you was looking at me. So I talk to animals as if they can understand me, because if they read body language, they see somebody coming to get out the way, then, and you could train animals to do whatever. So after I did that, I went and got a bag of hot chili Cheetos, and I just threw them out the window, and that's my way of saying, like, yo, if you hungry, you know what I'm saying, you can come, and I'm looking out the window because he's still out there. But anyway, so after I did that, I called my mans and them, I asked him what he had going on for the day. Told him because I had put off doing certain things for a reason. So now I called him, told him we need to get together, and I was telling him about, the show. And he already knew about it because I had interviewed him, and you're gonna meet him or whatever. I interviewed him, and he's like a TikToker. He TikToks all the time. He's constantly putting out content. And so I was like, yo, what you got going on, bro? Like, he, da, 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 da. And I had seen him at a casting call that I had went to. It was my first casting call, and it was his, like, going out for a part or whatever. So I was like, yo, bro, for me, okay, so let me like this. I called him, and we discussed seeing each other. I saw him at the casting call, and I didn't see it till later that he was there until I saw the post that he put on Instagram. So when I spoke to him this morning, I was like, yo, whatever. I didn't know you was there. He asked me the part I went for. And after we discussed that, then I was like, bro, the reason I actually went for the part, yes, I would like to play the part, to experience what it's like to be behind the scenes of what I'm always doing, not always doing, what I like to do, watch TV. And so when I went there, the whole experience of standing in that line, having a headshot, filling out that little piece of paper, which is general information, the part you're coming for, your name, your email, your social media and stuff, and phone number. And like, it's not like I memorized the part, but I read the part, read the part, read the part, read the part, and I was trying to get a feel for the character. Because they make it seem like when you go in here, you're supposed to know what the character supposed to. I'm like, come on, man, I didn't write this story, but I'm not gonna get into all that. I'm saying I didn't write this story, so how I'm supposed to know the feel of the person? So when I got behind there and seeing familiar faces that I had only seen on social media, that was now in front of me, a part of a project that I'm trying to be a part of as well, like, that was the whole thing. I just actually got a feel for it. So somebody was like, yo, I tried to be an actor, or I was an actor. Honestly, I was an actor too. And what does an actor do? An actor goes out for parts. Well, I went out for a part, and I played the part of a person going to get a part. Ain't that crazy? So, like, life is a movie. Everybody has a role. It's just what part are you playing? And so anyway, we chopped it up. And then I called my son. And when I was talking to my son had asked me a question. And the question was, when I was dating and I dated this girl, dated that girl, and I, like I told him, it wasn't, see the difference between dating and actually being in a relationship. Well, dating to me is kind of sort of a relationship, but I'll get to that in a second. So I told him, because he asked me, how do you know this person is like the one for you? So it's like I guess he was asking me, how do I know who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life? I couldn't answer that question. But he asked me along the lines of, what was you looking for when you dated this person and that person? So, all right. When I thought about it, I kind of was like, you know what it was? Hold on, let me put a pause on this. So after thinking about it, and I knew what he was trying to ask, I think he was trying to look for a reason to leave one alone and mess with the other. Because it seemed like he keep having problems with this one trying to be with her. And he seemed like he having a good time with this one over here. And so what I told him was, what he lost with that first one, and which he can still have because they're still young. I told him, when you first got with this other girl, I could read her now the way my grandmother read my children's mom, and I'll get to that later. But I told him, when he was with this girl and he first met her, they was friends. They wasn't looking to be with each other, and when he met her at, you could tell by the way she was not she's not an extrovert. I'll put it like that. She's not the outside type. She don't go outside. You're not gonna catch her. She would be the type that if you saw her at a party, you'd be like, oh, she'll say like, my friend dragged me out the house. So with that being said, she was different from what he was used to. And at the same time, she was the same as who he was on the inside. Now, he was out more because once he had experience being responsible and being a child to himself for a little bit, once he got a feel for that and started getting a taste of other things that he liked, so I could say he would be more like a homebody that got a taste of being out in the street, but still respectful and mature, and he wasn't into the nonsense. So when he met her, like I told him, they were friends. They didn't see each other all the time. They didn't text each other all the time. They didn't speak to each other all the time. And every time he saw her, it was a good time. Why was that? Because she wasn't yours. You just enjoyed her being your friend. And then, so I guess because of how it felt, I guess because even when you had sex, a guy feels like, some guys feel kind of obligated to like, okay, I'm saying something to her. Like, if she only knew I wanted this the whole time. And the other things that I give let you know that I consider you my girl. See, with a girl, if I give you the sex, we're in a relationship. With a guy, you give me the sex, I am considering you. And it's not for all guys. I'm not speaking for all guys. I'm speaking for me. It's my personal experience. Take it with a grain of salt. So it's like, if I had sex with you, I'm just showing you how much I like you. I'm into you. Now it's these other things like taking you out to eat, buying you stuff. That right there, to me, I'm saying like, yo, I don't do this for everybody. And for a woman, it's like, I don't open my legs for everybody. But then it could be misunderstood because a guy could lead by buying a girl stuff. And a girl could lead by giving a guy sex. You know what I'm saying? So it can go either way. It's just however you communicate. And so when he, like I said, when he met her, she was a part-time friend, potential lover. And they got together. They was in a relationship. And so he started, in the beginning, he started liking the things about her. So he took everything he thought he knew and went into that situation liking her, expecting to have that and things get better. And yes, things got better, but things got worse. So he, instead of that spokesperson that everybody talk about when you meet the person, they showing you who they would like to be, but that's not who they really are. It's the same thing in a relationship. You could play that role when you're not cohabitating for so long to when you do start cohabitating, it's like, yo, do I like you? And like, why you say that? Because now I see you before you look good. Do I like you? Why you say that? Because now I see you don't always dress like this. And it's not always the girl, it's not always the guy. Meaning it's not always the girl who's slacking. Sometimes the guy who's slacking. It's not always the guy who's slacking, sometimes the girl who's slacking. And so when he got with her, they started having problems. And he wondered, where these problems coming from? The consistency. Now you're learning the bad as well as the good to see who she really is. Now she can't say she's this person. You see who she is behind closed doors. Now you can't say you're this person. She see who you are behind closed doors. So they, he had the whole thing. And so now so now they had done the back and forth for a period of time until me and him started talking. He started confiding in me. And when he started talking to me, based on my experience, I do tell him why I went wrong, but I don't tell him, don't do this. I tell him what I did, my mindset and my intentions, and so he can see where he was at with it, so he can make his own decision. But now if I felt like he was doing something wrong, I would speak up front and I would say, listen, take this into consideration. And I always tell him, your actions, your attitude affects your actions, and what you do affects people around you. So if you put yourself in a situation now, the people around you are uptight until your situation calms down, and vice versa for the girl. And so they did the back and forth, and then he met somebody. And I'm like, he don't see it. It's the part-time thing again. When you take a job full-time, you get more money, but you give more time, and it becomes to a point you're like, oh, I don't want to get up this morning. I don't want to go to work today. I don't feel like doing this today. And it's the same thing in a relationship. So I guess these part-time relationships, people should date. Yes, should you date your friend? Yes. Why? Because they always your friend until they with you. Think about that. Who are you when you're not my friend? Are you my sister? Are you my mom? Are you my aunt? For the woman, are you my sister, my aunt? I mean, like, not saying it, don't take it the wild way. I have to say, that's crazy. You got to explain to that point. What I'm saying, like, what role are you to me? Okay, so when we're not being romantic, who are you to me? Just your friend? Oh, okay, all right, cool. So when we taking care of bills, we financial partners. When we go out on dates, we go out as friends sometimes, and sometimes we go. So the new girl, she clicks with him, and I be like, and he don't see it, but he'll park into the same spot with a different car and get the same stains on that car, thinking it's the car. Maybe it's this car that attracts this type of dirt. No, parking in this spot is what gets you those stains and stuff like that. I know that sounds strange the way I put it, but that was just something, and when I got up, People get up and worry about money. Money is all over the place. All over the place. So I think people need to get up looking for love. And when I say look for love, look for truth in the lies. Look for some resolution in whatever you're going through. I just think that, so to start off that way, what I did, I woke up with an open mind. I got up with good intention. And before I did my natural things when my feet hit the ground, I cleaned my body and I put water in my system just to ignite the insides, to be ready to deal with out here. And so, though, it is what it is. I'm never blowing smoke, blowing opportunity and wisdom in my experiences. So look forward to more of this. I love blogging. I love telling y'all what I got going on, what's going on around me. And when you're ready to tell your story, email me at GameCastInc, GameCastInc@gmail.com, or you can get at me on YouTube. Just click the like button, make sure you share it, leave a comment. We'll take it from there. Young Caesar, I'm out.